Did they ever fire you? Are you still working there? Are you still getting a paycheck?
Well, the thing is, I mean, of course I'm not working there, but I didn't violate my contract and no one ever claimed that I did, it's so hard to know where I don't read, you can ask my producer, Justin, I don't think I've ever read anything about myself, like anything.
I know.
At all, not one word.
That's how you stay sane.
And I don't, well, yeah, and I care about what my family and friends think, and that's kind of it. So I don't really know what they said about me, but I kept hearing, they're saying you're a racist because of your text messages or whatever. Well, there were no racist texts. I'm actually not a racist. So they didn't I'm not having an affair. I don't have a secret drug problem or whatever. And so but it's hard to know exactly how that made it into the press. So
no, it's not. It's not hard at all. If you'll forgive me, it's very clear.
We have our suspicions, don't we?
We do. Yeah, the audience is well aware.
But also, I would say that.
I'm trying to get to how did it ever resolve? Because they canceled the show, but they didn't fire you
because
they wanted you to stay in limbo.
Discursive. Right. So this is what it's like to have dinner with me. We can never stay on a topic. I beg your pardon. You asked a direct question. I'll give you a direct answer. I didn't violate my contract. I'm not working there, obviously. But I did not violate my contract, so there were no grounds to end my contract. So there you go.
But their plan was clearly to keep you under the thumb for the next, throughout the election cycle. And then when your deal expired post November of 24 to say, okay, now you're free. And usually people at Fox will take that deal because they need the money. Now you don't really need the money and you've never really cared about money anyway. So they're miscalculating your value system. So to me, this is interesting as an industry person because this is what these big corporations do is in order to work there, they make you sign a non-compete and they make you say, if you get fired, even without cause, you can't work for anybody else. You can't do anything else until the expiration date of the contract. Well, your case challenged that because you said, on your money, I don't care about your money. I'm going to launch a show. Now today you're going to launch a whole new network, which we're going to talk about in a minute.
Right.
And it really put Fox in a difficult spot because if they let you do it, it challenges their whole system, their whole setup for everybody else who's still laboring there, who may have to face the same decision. So what's the status of that? Did they ever sue you? What happened?
No. And I mean, I'm not into legal action. I'm a simple man and I don't like a lot of the trappings of the modern world. And one of the main ones I dislike is the impulse to take everything to court. And so, anything I can do to avoid that. But, my position, I've used social media and had a digital presence for the entirety of my work at Fox and my previous job. So and many people at cable news networks, have digital presences. Many of them sell things on the side, it's not, there's a long precedent for that.
BillO'Reilly.com.
I really think what it comes down.
Remember that every night?
I think
Roger used to say, he wants to sell doormats.
No, I saw him the other day. He was so much happier. It was interesting. I don't want to speak for him,
that's
but
good.
There is a world out there. So no, I don't anticipate any problems with them. I'm not mad at them. And I also think, if I'm being totally honest, there's something a little bit gross about holding a grudge or whatever. I'm not on your own behalf. I'm happy to hold grudges on behalf of other people, but I don't want to hold them on my own behalf because that does seem a little narcissistic. But I do think it's a huge problem, not simply for that channel, but for all the channels and for, in fact, a lot of corporate America. If it's clear that there's a pathway out of it, if you can rise to the top at Fox, go to NBC and have them call you a racist over a Halloween conversation, and then emerge as a big force in American politics and life and host a debate, you're a living symbol that actually, there's some things you don't have to put up with. And so I do think that's threatening, again, not just to Fox or MSNBC, but to Citibank or whatever, or any corporate overlord who is mistaking himself for God, as so many of these people do. It's really a threat because the whole system is based on the idea you're nothing without us. Yeah. And that's just not true because you have inherent value because God created you. And so I don't care how many times, the PR people are, you suck without us and you need us to manage it. It's like, no, I don't. I feel better about myself than that. You're sad and miserable and please leave my office now. It gives you a sense of your value, kind of.
Yeah, no, it's entirely true. And that's the one blessing of separating from that system, whether it's voluntarily or involuntary. It's
Yes.
You're free. You're free. You are kind of forced, if you want to stay doing what we do, to find a new way, right? It's like Darwinism. And before you know it, you've risen again. You found a new and better way of delivering your message and the news. And lo and behold, as I know has happened with you, the audience comes. They find you. Even if it's hard, even if it's on X to begin with, and now it's going to be much bigger, they find you.
I think that's right. And I think especially now, well, first of all, in speaking for myself, I don't have any other talents, and if they start paying you to quail hunt or trout fish, I'll get rich. But other than that, I've been in journalism my whole life. And so that's what I'm doing. But I think now, there's a need for people who are honest. The audience can tell if you're trying to tell the truth. And that's kind of the main thing they want, I think, is just your commitment to honesty, as imperfect as it may be. And if they see other news organizations who aren't even trying, whose whole existence is about manipulating you, the public, into joining some program that's bad for you and your family, it doesn't take much to be better than that, by the way. Because I would say one other thing is the second you start to see your mission as shaping the public's views on something or getting everyone on board to whatever dumb project they've dreamed up this week, you lose all curiosity because you're so mission driven. We've got to get them to support this stupid thing. And that really is the way they see the world, all these companies. Then you miss all the other amazing stuff that's going on around the world. You stop being curious. And that is the thing that strikes me about corporate media is their incuriosity. Their total in anything, or lack of interest in anything that's happening. And so much is happening. The whole world is resetting and exploding in some places. And it's just a fascinating time. And they miss all of it. It's the same story on a loop, just like North Korea just beating you into submission. Dear leader, dear leader, dear leader. And even if I like the dear leader, which I don't, what else is going on? Nothing, just dear leader. And I just think that that's so tiresome that it demands, an alternative.
Oh, this is why they were so wrong on COVID and they were so wrong on Russiagate. And they have, yes, there are ideological biases there too, but they drive the mission of what dear leader is going to say. What is the message?
Yes.
They're not driven by truth. And even at Fox, you were there. I think you were there when this happened. I know I was there when after Romney lost in 2012, Roger did the complete reset, including with Paul Ryan and some others on now we're going to be pro illegal immigration. Now we're going to be pro finding a path to amnesty. We're going to do a 180. And I remember watching Hannity, who I think we both like, on the air, who had been pushing exactly the opposite up until the night of election, have to try to do a 180 because the message had come down from above. Marco Rubio, that's actually the name I was looking for. They were all on board, this sort of gang of 8. This was the new, and it was how is this honest, right? It's it feels like a surrender as opposed to just reporting what's real, what the real problems are, and letting the viewers figure out what the right solution is.
That's exactly right. And I do think you sap your credibility over time if you do something like that. And I should just say again that my arrangement with that company was super simple for the whole 14 years I was there, which was, it's your company. If you don't like what I'm saying, please take me off the air because that's your prerogative because you own it and I don't. But as long as I'm on the air, I'm going to say exactly what I think. And they were totally okay with that. And that's one of the reasons I was pretty much okay with being taken off the air because that kind of was the deal. Don't tell me what to think. Well, I will never stand. I will die first, okay? And I mean that. But if you don't like it, just pull the plug. And I do think that's the more honorable way to do it. Just again, it's your chance. And if you don't, but I'm not going to say things that I don't believe. Ever. And once you start doing that, once you start lying, it changes you as a person. And the opposite is also true. The second you decide to tell the truth, not just in public, but in your personal life, really tell the truth, then you become strong.
Debt. You can go to bed thinking about it. You can wake up thinking about it. It can haunt you throughout the day. High interest credit cards and loans make it nearly impossible to pay off your debt. And insane inflation keeps you stuck paycheck to paycheck. The system traps you in debt. Donewithdebt.com can be a lifeline, the lifeline of a lifetime. I've talked about my own experience with debt in the past, so believe me, I know what it feels like. It's been a while, but I remember very well. Donewithdebt.com has a new strategy to help erase your debt faster and easier than you ever thought possible. And here's what they can do for you. Analyze all the debt options you qualify for, minimize interest rates, cut medical bills, and reduce debt without bankruptcy and without a loan. but you need to hurry. Some debt solutions are time sensitive. Go to donewithdebt.com, find out how easy they make it, and find out if it's right for you. Donewithdebt.com, donewithdebt.com. Hey, thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.